So, my name's David Shorey, for those who haven't met me. And I've been basically doing all this crazy stuff, printing on fabric and other materials. And my latest one is using these little chainmail links. And I'll pass these around. What I'm doing is, the big ones here is paper clips. And then the small one is the chainmail. And this is a little tiny one that basically has like 3 layers of them. Cool. So you can check those out and see what's going on here. So the dress here that I made, this one, I just literally put this together today, is using that idea of embedding the things in, but I'm snapping it together. So there's a top piece and a bottom piece that snaps together with it. So it's basically like fashion Legos, as somebody pointed out here in the speed. So I think that concept is really cool, because then you can actually figure out your design very quickly. Unlike if you're using regular chainmail, you don't have to bend anything. You can just drop it in, snap it together, figure out your shaping, and then when you're done, now you know what the pattern is, print it with the embedded, or super glue these together, and then you have your shape.
When
So
you say snap together, does that mean
there's a
there's
top.
a top layer and bottom layer, but they're 2 separate prints?
Correct.
Okay, 'cause before
So-
you were doing a single print. And you
Correct. There, as you can see here, there's top pieces and bottom pieces, and then you embed the rings into it and snap it together. So most of the ones that I'm passing out are actually embedded into it. They're printed. They're not snapped together. I have some other ones around here that are snapped, but those ones are embedded. And as you can see, they look almost identical. And that's the whole thing, is I can prototype with something that I'm not compromising the prototype as far as a visual sense and a mechanical sense. It's just more fragile. So that's what I'm really liking about it. And then this is the paperclip version.
have you tried unsnapping and resnapping, and have you found
Yeah, they will snap and unsnap. The thing that I found is, it's like it will wear over time, but I can do several snaps before it causes any damage to it.
what do you like better, the snapping or the
Use the fish.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah, use the fish.
It's a fish.
So what do I like, the snapping or the not snapping? Basically, I want to get to a point where I am putting this together in a rapid prototype fashion. So the snapping is very good for just figuring out my shape and everything like that. But the eventual thing that I'm wanting to do with all of this is to have a pick and place on top of my 3D printer, so that any of these materials, whether they be fabric, whether they be paper clips or chainmail or circuit boards or whatever it is, gets dropped in programmably inside the middle of the print. In the middle of the print, say it's 4 hours long, in the middle of that, I don't have to be there. It can drop it in. I feel that that's where the future of the things go.
And then what sort of snap fit method are you using? What's the
Basically, I'm just having a tolerance between the two pieces. And because it has the layer lines around it, it actually locks it into it. There's other pieces that I have a zip lock to them. Let me see if I can get to. These are the dragons.
like are one of the circles that are sort of snap fitting
Yeah.
to each other?
So. Okay.
Don't forget about Nemo.
About. So, one of the other ones in here is like this, is basically, like a Ziploc. That one is a straight snap. These ones are a Ziploc. So there is like a round circular part, and then there's a crescent shape that locks into it. And by getting the difference between those right, you can get a very a very tight snap to the fitting of it. So I've been working on all of this as far as I have other examples here. I've been working on all of this. I've been really happy with how it's going. Been putting out a Patreon page where I actually put out the different patterns, but wanted to tell people here, if you want to try printing out any of these, just message me on Slack and I'll send you the files. So, so I've been also testing out several different fabrics. So there's all these different cottons that I found, and some cottons, like a t-shirt one, doesn't work that great, but there's other ones that are a little bit looser weave, and they have very starchy, and they work beautifully. So I've been documenting that and putting in an Excel file and figuring out, putting out like where I got in, how much it costs and stuff like that. Like these ones where it's like, I didn't think this material, which is like kind of like a sport material, would work real good, but as you can see, it holds it on really well.
You print the layer first, and then you add the fabric on?
Oh yeah, for the people who haven't seen all my craziness. So the whole point of like all of this is I'm actually printing a layer or 2 layers, and then you put the fabric down, or in that case, the fiberglass mesh, and then continue the printing. There's a woman that I found online. She does stuff with Simplify 3D, which has greatly helped the process of what I'm doing. I don't know how many of you do 3D printing. Okay, so there's quite a few. I'm guessing a lot of you use Simplify 3D or Cura, I found Simplify 3D doing the start and end scripts and modifying those is the easiest way to do this pausing and continuing and setting it up as 2 separate prints. So that's why I wanted to show, and if you got any questions, find me later, message me on Spec. I'd be happy to send you files and love to hear the feedback on people trying to print it.
Awesome. Yeah, holy shit, I love this project. Just every month, it's just seeing it develop is incredible. Metal, looks like you have a question, but you can ask David afterwards. No, we're done. You can ask David afterwards.
You've met us before, right?
Yeah.
Damn it.
We know David.
Well played.
All right, who we got?